So if you haven't heard, we have a new puppy and her name is Veronica. By the way, I'm Zach George. I train dogs. This is my wife, Bree George.
Hello.
We're gonna show you how we train Veronica. Absolutely everything. Are you interested in learning how to teach your puppy or how we teach our puppy? Well then, consider subscribing to our channel. Like in this episode, for example, I'm gonna show you an exercise that takes minutes to train that will show you how to teach your dog to pay attention to you. Here, at least I hope it goes that way.
I'm gonna try to see if I can get Veronica to sleep all the way through the night.
And hopefully we'll make some progress on excessive barking from this young lady. But why do I have the feeling that we're really gonna have to play the long game on this one?
Oh, you stop barking now, okay.
Can PupBox tell me how to get her to stop biting me right now?
Oh.
It's like PupBox knows what our dog is thinking before we or they know it. And somehow this is a product we can buy. They give you advice based on your puppy's specific age. And I always love the tips that I get on this card. It's packed with info, front and back. So there's plenty to work on from month to month. Classic right here.
Always a hit.
And the reason I like toys like this, they're fun to bite on for dogs. They're engaging, like this one has a squeaker. Most importantly, I've got her attention. If I've got her attention, I can teach her anything.
Like this month, they actually gave us two things that I've gotten for us before. This really good enzyme cleaner and wipes for our puppy.
All of you can get half off of PupBox when you use my special link, pupbox.com/Zach, and use code Zach. I'll have the info below. Hey, let's go to the studio and teach you how to pay attention.
Yes, please.
Hey, Bree.
Yes.
I think you and I should talk about what we've learned about her, because we've had her a few days now.
Okay.
What do you think? What have we learned about her?
I've learned that she definitely doesn't know that much yet. She has a lot to learn, it seems like, but I feel like she's really smart. I'm excited to watch her learn stuff.
To say she doesn't know a lot, that would make perfect sense because she's a younger dog and everything.
It's been a couple of days now. I feel like the real Veronica's coming out. She's starting to bite a little bit more, be a little more demanding. Her separation anxiety needs work.
So far, she does not like to be alone.
No.
And that's a tough issue. And really, I think one of the reasons she doesn't like to be alone is that she's been very well loved in foster care before us.
Well, yeah, she's never been alone. As far as I know, she's lived with a bunch of other dogs at least, even if people left for a while. She had 6 litter mates.
And she loves being with people, which really is a great blessing. But if we want to go out to eat for 3 hours, forget it, unless we want to deal with a very anxious dog at home.
Her relationship with Inertia has been mostly slowly evolving, I think. But they did have a setback yesterday. I mean, physically, she seemed totally fine. I think it just scared her a little bit. But I don't want her to be scared of Inertia.
Yeah, she and Inertia have gotten along and everything, but still Veronica hasn't really embraced Inertia fully, I guess. She's like, only when I'm in the exact right mood do I want to play. And that may be her personality. She may be like that forever, or she may come out of her shell and they might start to roughhouse a lot more.
You still haven't taught her usually the first thing that you teach a dog, and I thought that was kind of weird. What's the deal? Why doesn't she know how to leave it yet?
When you work with as many dogs as we do, it's fun to mix things up and try and go in different orders and see if one offers an advantage. And so with her, in the first few days, I really wanted the main focus to be on the bond and getting to know her personality, not on how many tricks or things she can do, but really just get to know her before we start really getting into training. But I've been touching on 1 or 2 things a day with her, just like real low-key, just to kind of introduce the concept. And I guess, yeah, we should continue that today with Leave It. Leave It's tough for a puppy because you're asking them to, hey, don't do that thing you want to do, which is get that treat. So we shall see. We teach Leave It because it teaches impulse control, and lessons like this are also great for teaching them how to think in general. It's also a great lesson in showing you, the person, how to communicate with your own dog too. It's really incredible how much traction you can gain from a simple training session just like this one. Yes. Initially, I want to catch her accidentally leaving a treat alone for just a fraction of a second, then I'll say yes, and I'll give her a treat. So yes means something, as if to say, I love that tiny bit of restraint you accidentally offered me just now. Leave it. Yes. You're doing a great job. But just leaving something alone isn't really what I'm trying to teach her here. Really, it's about pausing her and getting her attention on me so that I can direct her and guide her. And it's a clear, easy way to introduce that concept for the first time. And in a way that gets her to do it completely voluntarily without any physical pressure of any kind. Here. Yes. And I love that snappy turn that she's doing there with her eyes. Leave it. Here. Yes. So that was a really good example. What you're asking a dog to do in this case is really tough. You're asking them to take their eyes off of that thing they want and to pay attention to you instead. That's counterintuitive to them. I can't emphasize enough how much I'm really trying to find just minute reasons to reward Veronica here. Yes. It can be so easy to frustrate a dog at this really fragile point in their training if you ask them to do too much. But lessons like this are some of the most impactful, magical lessons you'll ever have with your dog. By setting the tone from the very beginning that you, Veronica, can think on your own, and I'll be here to help you grow that reasoning process without undermining your intelligence or your trust in me. See that? Those treats are completely out of sight as she's looking up at me right now. Just to really point out why we like positive reinforcement so much in the dog training world, it really flips things. Rather than you having to correct for things you don't like in order to eventually get your dog to behave, here you're going to see your dog going out of their way to offer good behavior that's been really heavily reinforced in the past. So right here, I'm not asking for a lie down. I'm not asking for a look at me. I'm not asking for a stay. Why is she giving it to me? Because she's been reinforced. And as time goes on and they learn these things, you don't have to reinforce quite as much. Yes. Didn't even have to ask for a look at me there. See how she's looking at me as if to say, okay, wait a minute. I think I'm starting to get it. If I leave those treats alone and I look at you at the same time, it works out in my favor. Yes. Do you see that? Do you see that quick snap right there? It's almost like a light bulb went off. See if she does it again. She relaxed and she's like, wait a minute. Yes. Well, before I was just setting the piece of food in front of her, now I'm tossing it a little bit so it has movement. Yes. I can't emphasize enough that things that move like that are really enticing. Yes! And there, that's the biggest home run there on this exercise. So, you know, a much more challenging exercise for a dog to do something like this. Let me let her know it's over. And, okay. Yes. So great lesson on Leave It and the Leave It Look at Me combo. We'll be using some variation of this training for years and years in the future. For example, when she becomes distracted by a squirrel or a dog in public and I ask for her attention on me, this is the lesson that will have set the tone for that type of training. Keep in mind also, I talk a lot about this in both of my books. I'm going to have links below. One area that is in absolute disarray in our training is crate training. She has what seems to be severe separation anxiety, more than any puppy we've had in these series, maybe ever. And I've got to tell you, at this point, I don't know if she's the kind of dog that just isn't really a candidate for a crate. My hope is that we can counter condition her, that is, change her association with the crate and get her to stay in there voluntarily. Here. Offer her a treat. This I love. I love that she'll go in there. She doesn't hate the crate so much that she won't go in there. And by design, I mean, we have been really trying to work with her on going into the crate. We've been feeding her meals in there. We've been giving her water in there. In general, like, as long as I'm here and I'm throwing them in there, it looks like so far she's pretty accepting of it. You can see she'll get her treat, and very often she's likely to come right back out after she gets her treat. If I close it, you can see she looks up, she notices that. Okay. I'm preemptively telling her okay to exit the crate because eventually we're gonna work on stay at the crate door here until I say it's okay, just for safety. And yes, I love that. For this training session, for the most part, all the treats are gonna be inside the crate. In other words, if you want those, that's where you gotta go to get them. And the logic here isn't just, hey, go follow a treat in there and bribe them. The logic here is to have her associate being in the crate with something really good, something that she likes, something that she has a positive emotional response to. I like how she didn't try to run out of the crate there when she saw it closing. And here, she sees the open door, she comes walking out. And I'm not having to say no or close the crate in her face. Instead, I'm just gonna put that over there. Keep throwing those in there until she kind of inadvertently decides to stay. She's thinking about it. See, I'm just waiting for her to go in and reason through, hey, that's where you're gonna get the treats for this particular lesson, not out here. Because she's looking at me like, hey, this works for me a lot. I'm sitting. And remember, I'm using Veronica's meal for a lot of this training. That's a great way to train puppies since you can give them lots and lots of rewards, but still keep them healthy. See, this is where the fun is over here. And look at that, look at this. See how she's starting to look back towards the crate now rather than running out and saying, no, I'll never go in there again. It's a really common thing when a dog doesn't love being in a crate. Yes. Yes. Yes, that's what I'm looking for there, for her not to come running out. Yes. If I walk away, I'm going to walk all the way over here for a sec. Yes. That's really good behavior, because it's when you start to walk away or move away from her and she's in the crate. Simply having her stay in the crate is one thing, but notice how alert she is. She knows that we're engaged in a primary training session here that is one where we're really trying to accomplish a specific action. It would be great if I could get her to relax and start chewing on a chew while in there. So we're gonna let her gnaw on that for a little bit. And I mean, this is perfect. This is what I'm looking for, because sometimes you gotta find just the right chew for them or just the right thing. That's why I like having a variety of different things. Dogs, like people, get in the mood for different things. And the tempting, even intuitive thing to do a lot of the times, if your dog is stressing in the crate, is to yell at them. Some people will bang the crate to try and scare them so that they don't continue to bark. And I understand it can be frustrating when you're trying to sleep at night, because ultimately this dog is going to end up sleeping with us for sure, because we like having dogs in the bed. However, it's so important to us in these beginning stages that the dogs are comfortable being alone, because they can't be with us all the time. There are going to be times where we have to leave the house, go out to dinner, go run an errand, or whatever. So they have to be content. I'm going to continue to walk away too, because distance is a major factor as well. Being farther away from her, being out of sight, those are the things that tend to trigger anxiety within Veronica. So I think really just going in and out of sight here. She's looking at me, but she's really into that. So basically she has the experience of doing something that's really enjoyable, enjoying her life, being in the crate with me far away, out of sight in this case, over here now, and not feeling that anxiety that she's been prone to feel. See what I mean? So this is one more way that we're trying to address the underlying emotional condition. Now I'm hoping that she'll just indefinitely chill out there and she'll rest. If I could get a 10-minute nap in there, that would be cool. Ideally, I would like to let her out before she starts stressing. Or if I do see some mild stress emerging, I might see if it passes rather than just letting her out immediately, because I also don't want to condition her that anxious barking is what gets her out of the crate either. So it's really this fine line that we have to walk. Like, I don't want her stress to get so far that she starts hating the crate. But so far, this is definitely one of her more significant issues, though we are just barely getting to know her right now. It looks like she has finished the majority of that salmon chew. Now, this is a real delicate moment. When she's run out of food, is she going to bark as if to say, okay, I'm done, let me out, I've had enough time? And I think that's where this is headed. So yep, see, man, can I read a dog or can I read a dog? So this is the point. Do I try to let her just chill? Do I give her something else that might pacify her? Like, I don't want to just give her food all day because she'll get fat. There's a couple of things here. I'm gonna wait for periods of silence so I can acknowledge the quiet. She doesn't like that I'm far away over here. Yes. So the yes is for that moment of quiet before this barking gets going. And I'm doing this to kind of buy time while I think about what I want to do here. The other option is to quit while I'm ahead here and let her out. So yeah, since she did pretty well, I think we'll let her out, but let's see if we can let her out during a moment of calm. Let me get her leash ready. Okay, good girl. Yeah, you did so good. So, I mean, that's an example right there. I would have liked to have gotten more, but at the same time, I'm glad we got what we got, and her stress level didn't appear to get so over the top that it would have worked against us. Do you know what I mean? Still work to do. This is real world dog training, so it's not like it's magically fixed in one lesson, you know? We've had one accident, right? One. Just one. That's pretty amazing. And there you go. Good girl. In my personal opinion, I think it's time for Bree to supervise Veronica overnight. All right, hey, we're not gonna let you keep us up. We're gonna get her nice and tired before bed, playing some fetch with her.
Oh, you guys, I really want to sleep tonight. So I'm pulling out all the stops. We're getting Veronica's extra energy out with some fetch right before bed. And I'm going to give her dinner in her crate, so maybe she'll get that full belly sleepy feeling like when you eat a really big meal and then you just pass out. I love using slow feeding bowls like this. It really stretches out how long she enjoys her food, especially while she's in the crate. And I covered her crate with a blanket to maybe block out additional distractions too.
There we go. Good night.
Okay guys, that worked for a couple of hours, but then Veronica seemed pretty anxious, so I did my best to wait for just a microsecond of quiet, but I let her out of her crate pretty much right away.
Were you really sad? It's gonna be okay. We're gonna see you in the morning, and morning is not that far away now. I see you. You wanna try to go potty really quick?
Honestly, if she's waking me up because she needs a bathroom break, I am totally fine with that. Now the trick is getting her back to sleep though. I'm hoping a new chewy treat will help her settle down. Guys, it worked! She slept the whole rest of the night. I can hardly believe it. I hope she didn't disappear. Veronica, are you still in there? Yep, she's in there. She seems pretty excited to get out too.
Good morning. Good morning, Angel. Hey, funny girl. I just want to give her a bunch of love because she did so well. I know it's hard, Veronica. When I was little, I was scared to sleep alone too. I understand.
All right, I'm calling it overnight training complete.
Yeah, not likely, but it was a pretty good start.
Veronica seems like she's feeling really happy and confident this morning, so I want to give her another chance to play with Inertia. Hopefully things will go better this time than last time. Oh no! Oh no!
Inertia, what are we gonna do?
That's all right. You can hang out with me till you're ready. I know, you're so good. You're so close, I can tell. You just need a sec to make sure that you're
Definitely feeling brave. Oh, she brought you a toy. Does that help?
Seems like Inertia's ready to do whatever it takes to get Veronica to play though. She's even trying to share her favorite hammerhead shark toy. Wow.
Maybe if you drop it right on top of her.
Success! It looks like Inertia had the right idea sharing her toy. Veronica's getting much braver now.
Yeah, get it, Inertia. Good job.
Uh-oh, maybe a little too brave.
Huh? I've seen this before. Good girl, Inertia. Don't worry, we'll teach her how to share.
Well, it looks like Veronica is really coming out of her shell now. In the next episode, we'll tackle her barking at other dogs and whatever other crazy puppy habits she develops between now and then. Get 50% off your first PupBox when you sign up for a subscription. Subscribe to this channel, follow us on TikTok and Instagram, and get a copy of both of my books.